Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a fateful trip that started from this tropic port aboard this tiny ship. The mate was a mighty sailing man, the skipper brave and sure. 5 passengers set sail that day for a 3-hour tour, a 3-hour tour.
So, enough about that. Here's what we're here to discuss right now. What I want to tell you about is the story of how this little guy came to be. So, first thing I want to tell you is that the story about the BlackBerry, it's been going on for a long time. With the 6000 series, probably have never heard of it. The 7000 series, you probably haven't had one. I have. And of course, it really begins, the story really begins, in my opinion, in the 9000 series. Particularly the Bold 9000, obviously. And what really made the Bold 9000 special was the fact that, it had a keyboard that was big enough for even really fat fingers to type on. And, the trackball kind of got away from that side, the side scrolling feature and gave us an actual trackball to cruise around with. It had a lot of memory. It had a nice size, a leather backing. It had, a nice beautiful light for taking pictures. It had, a nice, easily accessible little spot for the memory card. One of my favorite things that I missed. Now, what's interesting is when you went from the 9000 to the 9700, one of the things you noticed right away was that the keyboard was about half the size. Well, not half, but it was really small. I noticed I stopped blogging when I got the 9700. It was just too difficult to write out a blog post. I even kept the 9000 for an extra couple of months, maybe even longer, after my wife didn't really want to use it, just to blog about different things, just using WordPress and the Wi-Fi. But for some weird reason, the proprietary operating system wouldn't allow us to use the Bold 9000 on Wi-Fi, just as a around the house kind of device like an Android would. You couldn't check your email on Wi-Fi. So eventually I just ended up migrating over to the 9700, but I wasn't particularly happy. Well, one day I was checking out my internet marketing posts on spin.com, sphin.com, and I couldn't actually look at how many times somebody spun one of my articles, and I thought, man, this thing's going viral. I want to know, how popular is this article? And I couldn't. So, a couple other things that I was really bothered by with the 9700 was, it was still a 624 megahertz Marvel chip, same one that they'd had since the 9000. It still had limited app room. They'd improved it a little bit, but it still wasn't very much. They left us. They brought us to OS 5, but OS 5 was still kind of limited and such. And the browser, of course, was the same browser you had on the 9000. There was really no change there. And if you used Opera, no offense, but the thing was just really hard to understand where the buttons were, that kind of thing. So some of us gave up on the platform and, at least for work purposes, stuck with an Android or an iPhone while keeping the BlackBerry in the back pocket for texting and such. Then the 9780 came out. Amazing. We're really happy with the 9780 because it had a WebKit browser, and everybody's been waiting for one of those. We were hoping when they bought that company, FireTorch or whatever, that would be fixed, right? That's what we all hoped. We hoped for a faster processor. I bought one. I actually traded an iPhone 4, my iPhone 4, for a 9780 with faith in RIM. I trusted RIM that they were going to give us that upgraded browser and finally be able to do work on my BlackBerry. It came with a bit more RAM. It was running OS 6.0. There was all kinds of promises with 6.0. And, lo and behold, the 9780 and the Bold 9800, aka the Torch, both lacked the web browser that we were looking for that would have been able to run some of the features like commenting on blogs and and certain features. There was just little quirks there. So make a long story short, here we are today, many of us still holding on to the hope that, there's ever going to be such thing as a Bold 9000, with the internals of a 9780, or a Bold 9000 with an even better browser. Imagine having a Bold 9000 had, say, a touchscreen, and a Bold 9000 had extra RAM. How about 8 gigs of RAM? So today, what we have that's coming out here, I've been discussing it. You obviously know, is the Bold 9900, which of course has all those things fixed. The web browser in 7 is actually benching faster than an Android, faster than an iPhone. It's got 8 gigs of onboard RAM, so app space isn't going to be an issue. 1.2 gigahertz processor, which is going to be dramatically faster than what we're used to here. It's obviously going to have 768 megs of RAM, so it's about 3 times what, no, a little bit more than 3 times what the original Bold 9000 had. Just looking at some of the issues, I mean, it's going to have the 9000 size keyboard. That's one of the biggest issues. Rim, I think you've really solved this dilemma that we've been having since day one, and I hope that that everybody realizes that the Bold 9900 is going to solve everything that we've been hoping for. At least that's what it sounds like. So, Bold 9000 community, I'm almost confident, until I get one in my hands, I can't prove it, but I'm almost confident the 9900 is going to solve everything we've always wanted. Everything in this form factor with the big keyboard, everything we've always wanted out of that Bold 9000, so we can all safely move over to a platform where we can get back to blogging on WordPress, back to typing out big long letters and such, being able to have the freedom of a coffee and a Bold 9000, and being able to be at a Starbucks, conducting business, talking to people, having a decent enough size screen and a decent enough size processor and a decent size keyboard where we don't need a full laptop, but we can work in our pockets, at a construction site, at a client meeting, in between presentations, and boardrooms. Everybody is excited about the Bold 9900. I can't wait to take the Bold 9900 to my next flyover to say Utah or California, and be able to show all the clients, all the investors, all these kinds of people, look at what we're using now in our offices. Thank you.